Hi there, I'm Sheila Kennedy, the Confidence Coach, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. You know, part of my mission is to answer the questions or fill in the gaps for entrepreneurs that in the areas that they may not be incredibly confident in. And one of the questions that I was asked today was about hosting an internship as a solopreneur. You know, most of us think that you need this big corporation to host interns, and that's not true. It might take a little bit more work and a little bit of maneuvering, but it's absolutely a viable option for the solopreneur. So, a couple things that I've learned that I wanted to share with you. First thing is that I decided that I needed some support. And by support, I meant I needed some administrative help. I needed somebody to help me with some marketing, some launch sequences and things like that. And so I thought, well, sure, let's go down to the local college and ask if they have interns available, because that might be a really inexpensive way for me to get the help that I needed and, you know, do a little bit of good. What I didn't quite realize is that having an intern means that you become a teacher, which is not a bad thing at all. But please be prepared that you are going to be teaching, that you are an extension of the classroom, that you are almost a faculty member, and your intern is coming as an unskilled laborer. And that's okay. But if you're expecting to get a VA who's been doing this for 20 years and can kind of read your mind, or a graphic designer who knows all the right questions to ask you because they've been doing this for a long time, then that's not what you're going to get. There are very few students who have that level of expertise or professionalism as they're in college still. So know that you aren't going to get that caliber of person. And so be prepared to spend a lot of face time teaching them the skills that they need so that they can go on and become amazing professionals. So if you don't have the time, don't commit to doing an internship or hosting an internship, because that only puts both of you at a detriment, which is not what you want. So one of the other things that I would caution you is to be very clear about what your expectations are, what your needs are, what skills that the internship or the intern needs to possess. You know, I had no idea when I first got my interns that I needed them to be self-starters, that I needed them to show initiative, that I needed them to be able to take risks and create things for me. I needed them to be creative. I didn't want to babysit them. I wanted to give them wings to fly, but I thought they already had them. So if that wasn't a quality or a trait that they possessed, then we kind of had some trouble. And so I would caution you to know what it is that you need. And you may not know until after you've had your first one. So just, you know, putting that out there. What functions are they going to be in? I would not recommend that you give them a role in your company in something that is going to be long term. And what I mean by that is, you know, it sounds all cool to have an accounting major come and do your books, set up your books for the first time for you. And that, I mean, that's great. But what happens after the 6 months when they're finished and they move on and you are stuck without knowing how to do your books still, or not keeping track of them like you would have if that intern hadn't been there? Then you have to retrain somebody. And so if there's a task within your company that you don't want to keep retraining somebody, then don't give that to them. What I did is I typically gave them projects. And because they were short term in that it was going to take 3 or 4 months, you know, my first set of interns actually helped me write and release my new book, or my first book. You Had It All Along, because, and it was great. He designed, my graphic design student designed the cover and the graphics inside, and the business major that I had was doing all of the administrative support, the marketing support, the launch support, that kind of thing. So, I mean, they were a tremendous help for me. But I'm really glad that I didn't have to keep retraining somebody on how to do, you know, the functions of my business that happen all the time. So keep that in mind. And I also would caution or recommend to you, suggest to you that you get to know them, understand their motivations and their concerns and their goals, their desires, and see where they want to go with this. Because when I was hosting 3 at a time, I wasn't sure I had enough work for all of them. I was a little concerned about that. But what happened is because I got to know them a little bit in the interview before I hired them, that I knew that one of them wanted to start their own company. And so that was really cool because he was going to be launching products. And so I really got him involved in the launch sequence, how to get media attention, how to do press releases, how to find JV partners, all of that kind of stuff. So that when he walked away, he had those skills for when he opened his own business. One of them was a marketing major, and so she wanted to get a job in marketing. So I took her through, okay, let's dissect my ideal client. How do I find them? What are their problems? How do I address them? What would be most appealing to them? What, times of the day or night would webinars be good for them? All of those kinds of things. So that when she walked into a marketing position, she had some experience on how to find all of that information out. That other intern, that session was my graphic design student, and she was not interested at all in owning her own business. She wanted to become a software specialist or a gaming, create games actually. So to talk about the logistics of business were not something that she really wanted to do. So we focused on people skills and collaboration and teamwork and things like that instead of, the business end of it. So it's good to know so that all of the expectations are met and you actually have them walking away with really great skills and you get some great work out of them at the same time. So that is, in a nutshell, the things. I would be very clear about what you need. Understand that there's a time commitment, that you are their teacher and that's your role. And if you're not up for that, then it's okay to say no. It's not free labor. It is going to be an exchange of time and energy that you're going to give them and information. One of the other things that I would recommend that you do is have them sign a confidentiality clause that anything that you do or teach or that kind of thing that is specific to your business, that they cannot disclose that. Just a little protection measure. And I'm trying to think what else I think that you should know. It's a great experience if you have the time to dedicate to it. I didn't. It became more of a struggle because I didn't have the time or I didn't want the time to take the time to teach them what they needed to know. I really wanted skilled labor, and they're not that. Your job is to teach them that. So definitely worth doing if you understand all of those expectations and they're realistic for you. It is, I learned so much. They were creative and they did set up some systems that I still use today. And they were wonderful in, taking direction and things like that. And they actually helped me be more clear. When they asked questions because they weren't sure what I really wanted, it helped me become more clear about what I wanted and how I communicated that. So, definitely win-win. A great situation. So I recommend trying it, maybe even at least once, but just be aware of what you're getting yourself into. So I would love to answer any questions that you have. You can email me at sheila@confidenceatyourcore.com. That's SHEILA at confidenceatyourcore.com, or you can just visit my website, and that is www.confidenceatyourcore.com. I am looking forward to interacting, and if there's any other questions that I can, field for you, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know what they are, and have a great night. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.